And welcome to Rauta's Reviews. Today's band is not a typical band in so many ways. But first of all, let's start with the visuals as they play an important role here, or at least they kind of make a difference as well. This band is called Arkheth, and the CD what we have here is called 12 Winter Moons Comes the Witch's Brew. Not a typical name for a band, nor release. Um, Here is the beautiful digipack, very psychedelic, as you can see from the colors. This is released by Transcending Obscurity from India, which is yet again not a typical uh, label country for a metal release anyway. Here's the CD, pretty simple. And here are the very simple inlay. And let's take a look of what this cardboardish booklet is all about. As you can see, the psychedelic colors are continued here. Here are also the lyrics, of which you can at least take a glimpse at. Maybe even pause if you need to read them. This is what this band has to offer. Not too many songs, in fact. But then again, these are quite long ones, lengthy tracks. So obviously, these lyrics are not the simplest and shortest ones. So, this band was started early this millennium, and it used to be a full band with some 4 members and whatnot. Nowadays, since 2016 or so, this band has operated by only one man. So it kind of regressed into a bedroom black metal project, but not just any black metal project, but this one is something that nowadays could be called as experimental one. And when I say experimental one, I'm not using the quotation marks here, but actually meaning in that the very sense of the word. That means this album is by no means a typical album on any standards. Well, obviously track list and the amount of tracks are something kind of something very common in at least in the sense of doom metal, death metal. Oh well, not maybe death metal, but black metal anyway. But everything else is atypical, from the cover work and the imagery and titles to the music. Everything is just kind of abnormal. The thing here is that this is the kind of a music, especially in the metal way, that is very hard to approach in so many ways. First of all, the music here is hardly black metal on any standards at all. I mean, while there is screamy vocal parts and some of the riffs are just something that is reminiscent to black metal, everything else is here just, something that is kind of like experimenting how far things can go without people, saying, okay, you've gone too far, you cannot do that because, well, reason X and Y. Now, all the songs here are just, kind of a science project in the terms of metal. That is, playing with fire and weird instruments and trying not to get hurt or to reach some kind of a result that is bound to happen when you're trying to open portals into another dimensions. Very weird music in so many ways, and even though they are these kind of more, let's say, progressive metal parts like late Emperor and stuff like that, mostly this is just like awkward music, especially in the terms of metal music. Now, saxophone might sound a weird instrument in black metal, but that is by far not the weirdest thing you're gonna hear on this one. I mean, there are albums where saxophone has been, played in, black metal albums, obviously. And here they are not that weird. Definitely not common, but not the weirdest thing. I mean, these riffs and compositions are just, they're like a ball of, I don't know, rubber that is bouncing from wall to ceiling to floor and whatnot until it hits your eyes again and you get a bruised eye. It's so weird, and at the same time I kind of like to dig these layers and to see what I can find. But in fact, this is kind of too much in the terms of an album. I mean, I don't enjoy this kind of music that much. I can kind of like that this person doing the music is not doing the typical metal release, not to mention black metal, but too much is too much. This is not the type of like mad genius effect which people could be saying, like, I don't know, from bands like Ulver or Dead Heimskard. But this is just like experimenting with the wrong ingredients, or at least the result is not very flattering in my opinion. While I like some ideas here and there, mostly I just feel like this is kind of a betraying, or just wasting my time really, because this is the type of niche that you need to have a certain mindset to actually be able to enjoy this. This is so far from the mainstream, so far from a typical metal release, that I don't expect people to like this. But then again, those who do, like one of my colleagues actually who wrote a review about it, gave them really nice wording about like how this needs so many spins to get through, to actually like these albums and find these details and whatnot. But then again, this colleague of mine, this person, she's also a fan of Late Emperor, which I am not. So I guess that explains some of the differences between my opinions. But I'm not gonna call this album crap. I'm just gonna call it a weird art project that is certainly to speak to some people. Some people are surely to like this one and actually find these nice ideas which are hidden in this album, and these tracks, and maybe to some people they actually make a lot of sense. It's kind of like a David Lynch movie. To some people it's like the perfect form of art, movie or otherwise, while to some people it's just boring and way way too much something that doesn't actually make sense. Being experimenting with artistic views and visions, and putting things together, and using the way of saying that the way that you travel is more important than the destination. And whilst it may be like that, because with usually recordings it's like that, you don't try to find the end of the rainbow with the ending of a recording, but rather enjoy the whole trip there. But this album is just, making me feel that maybe I just could spend my time way better than listening to this one. Way too weird for me, I admit, way too artistic, way too experimental. But anyhow, those who might be just interested in this kind of stuff, you check out the link and decide for yourself. That's pretty much the only thing we can do here. Anyway, thank you for watching the review, and hope you like Arkheth more than I possibly did. See you soon with another review from Rauta. I'll get back to the next CD playing in the background, and see you soon with more reviews. Bye bye.